You are the owner of Heal House. It is of such a very innovative concept. I'd say probably the most unique concept I've ever experienced across Canada. So, can you tell me why you started the Heal House and what's the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean it was very interesting, Tanya, because my background, I'm a real estate developer, right? So I've been investing in developing real estate for almost 20 years of my life. And to shift from real estate construction, finance to healthcare, it was a massive shift. And it was I would say that I had an MBA lesson in this field of healthcare and wellness. And it all started because of my son. My son was really my inspiration. He was born with a very rare chromosome disorder. And
Mm,
it was so rare at that time. There was only 7 cases in Canadian history. And when like watching him struggle as a father, I felt so much pain, and I was just like covering
mm,
that pain, just burying in that pain. And when I was able to discover what's called harmonic resonance, harmonic therapies, that really helped change my life at first, and then I actually applied it to my son, it changed the game for me. And when I was able to see my son that was basically nonverbal, very, very emotionally unstable, he wouldn't be able to communicate with you and look you in your eyes. He would always look at the floor.
mm.
He had very low muscle tone to watching him transform where he is um, making jokes. He's doing headstands at Kung Fu.
Nice.
And he's, like he's able to look at me and we're able to communicate. Now we just got back from our trip and he's communicating with people, asking them to do
Oh.
selfies. That to me was so inspiring as a
Mm.
father, that I felt like I had a new calling. And I felt like my
Uh-huh.
calling was to be able to create something, a platform, a place where people can go to and it gives them hope. It provides true healthcare.
Mm.
We don't look at everything superficial. We try to go deep. We go right to the root.
Hmm. Well, it's really interesting because as you described this, coming from real estate that is obviously could be very profitable, uh, you were chosen. It's a gift. Your son is a gift because had you not had him, then you would have continued your career in real estate and you
That's
wouldn't
right.
have created the Heal House. And the Heal House is so needed because when I came to the Heal House, it's very evident that you took your construction, your real estate knowledge and incorporated it into providing a space that is so beautifully designed and thoughtful, right? Like that's very present. And so can you tell me about how the Heal House is really a space also for families?
Yes. So, creating Heal House, it was actually meant for families. And it was meant for families that were going through their own health struggles, going through their own mental challenges. So, like we've iterated so many times, but we've gotten to a place now where we do 3 simple things. We measure you, we optimize you, and then you thrive, right? So we measure
Mm,
you by collecting as much information we can through assessments, through talk therapy, through blood work, through bioenergetics, bioresonance. We collect as much data as we can. And then we put you through our different protocols, our systems, our platforms, our programs, and then we measure you again. And so
mhm.
be able to have like a baseline. We'll show you what your growth looks like. And then we constantly iterate until you thrive. And how we make sure that you thrive is that coaching aspect. Having
Mhm.
somebody there always by your side, knowing that you're never alone.
Hmm. Well, it is evident. And the feeling that I got when I walked into the Heal House, it just felt like a place to heal. And it felt very inviting and approachable. And very, like I said, it's just good energy. And that's hard to find in any clinic. So,
Yeah.
congratulations on creating that type of space.
Thank you, Tanya. The energy, it's important to mention this because energy, it comes from the root of the intention, right? And
Hmm.
so my intentions, I mean, look, I was a real estate developer, assembling real estate. I'm still doing today. We're actually in the process of, developing a large rental project in downtown Toronto, and like we're proposing 285 units there. I'm building a
Wow.
mutual fund trust, right? So a virtue, we call it the Virtue Impact Fund to build out projects just like this, right? So we can be able to scale Heal House
Mm-hmm.
inside of these rental models, inside of these communities to truly help impact people. So I mean, there's the intention of wanting to be able to make this difference and really
Mm-hmm.
see the change in people's lives. I got into this not because of money, right? Because I like that was all I knew. That and real estate was it helped build my wealth, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I shifted into building out Heal House into an industry that I don't even know because I truly want what's best for people. Did I make mistakes? I made a ton, right? Do I continue
Mm-hmm.
to make mistakes? Of course, but I continue to learn. But it's the resilience that I and my team will have to make sure that, we be able to help as many people as we can.
So tell me about the process because when I came, I obviously went through some of the processes. So of course, I met with Dr. Stummer, and she was wonderful. She's a naturopathic doctor that works really closely with you. So she assessed me. We had a wonderful chat. She covered a lot of territory. Obviously, I perused the different facility, found a secret room. We can touch on that in just a moment, but. The next thing is for her to, as you mentioned, to get deep, to really understand how I operate, right? From a genetic and essentially like understand gut health, microbiome, and of course do a blood test to see what is happening inside the body. So that's sort of that was my experience to date. So of course I got to get all of those samples sent now. But can you describe like what is that process that individuals should expect at the Heal House?
Yeah, I mean, first we get to know you as a person, right? So who is Tanya? Or like the all of your background information. Stress actually plays a major factor in everything, right? So understanding your environment, what you're going through. Then from there, we look at your, if you want to look at your hormones, if you want to look at things like your genetics, right? Dr. Stummer, she will assess it. She's very special because she's an intuitive doctor, right? She really
Mhm.
gets to understand you. She has this like very high level of intuition, and so
She does.
can help guide you. And that's important because when you have a doctor that truly cares and really understands you, she's going to be able to pick what's best for you and then
Hmm.
take that through that entire process. So for us, we carry every single test that's out there. We partner with all the major labs. We're able to take all of that information that is fragmented everywhere and we simplify it into one cohesive plan for you. And
Hmm.
on top of that, the key part of it is that we allow you to understand, like we not allow you, but we want to make sure that you understand it. So we simplify the language
Hmm.
so that every single person that sits in that seat understands what we're saying to them.
Yeah, because my experiences in the past working with different naturopathic doctors and also traditional doctors, I had no idea what they were talking about. And it was so confusing. And I was intimidated by their level of knowledge. And I also didn't want to, take up their time because I always felt very rushed with them. And I felt like I was being pushed in terms of sold to. So either naturopathic doctors were pushing, different products, and then traditional doctors were pushing other types of services, right? So it's just I felt very at ease with Dr. Stummer, and I felt that she actually cared, which was very different. And so I really look forward to continuing those conversations with her. But I wanted to ask you, so some individuals that I spoke to when I mentioned the different types of services you offer, they said to me immediately, they're like, this sounds woo woo. Like, if I have to pay for something, I want immediate gratification. I want to look different. I want to feel different. And I want to be able to measure that. I know that your holistic services are data driven. So that is very interesting to me. So can you talk to me how woo woo, like, how do you take woo woo to actual like data driven real results?
Well, it's very interesting for the people that think it's woo-woo because I mean we use real life data. That real life data is collected through, blood samples. We look at things like your mitochondria health, right? So your cellular health. I think the woo-woo portion of it really is what people don't understand. Right. And so when
Hmm.
they don't understand something, they give it a terminology.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, how we understand each other today, it's actually through frequency and resonance. It's all waves,
Hmm.
it's all vibrations. And so we like one of our technologies that we use, we call it a bioresonance machine. That's just being able to collect the information that your cells are actually emitting this waveform that we're able to collect
Hmm.
on. And but that's only one of the devices. We actually
Hmm.
combine that with other standard protocols, standard testing actually. And the like I think woo woo is a term that a lot of people use in wellness. Uh,
Hmm.
and they're just like, okay, there's wellness and then there's science, right?
Science, yes.
Yeah,
I hear
but
that all the time.
and so the key is like the challenging part and what Heal House has been really working on is combining the two, right?
Hmm.
Because I mean we know that wellness is it's the holistic self, right? But
Hmm.
traditional is the hard science, right? So it's like combining the two in one very streamlined, comfortable, accepting, loving space. Right. And this is
Hmm.
why we called it a house because we didn't want it to feel clinical. We didn't want you to go
Yes.
to a place where you felt like you're intimidated. It's the white coat syndrome. You go
Yes.
to a place and they know you by your name. You're accepted. You're cared for. You know that every single one of those individuals in that space genuinely care for you. And they have the certification, they have the
Hmm.
license, they have the knowledge and the experience to make sure that they can look after you and like look after you th through that healthcare lens.
What I also like, there's so many things that I enjoy about the Heal House, but what I also like is just the blend of different types of services. So one of the things I did notice, first of all, I'm obsessed with saunas, so happy to see that you have a sauna there, and it's very spacious, could accommodate two individuals and then a group of friends. Essentially, I'm not sure how many, but doesn't matter. The fact that you had that was so great. I ended my session with it. But what I also wanted to talk about is the IV drips. You had red light therapy, I believe, and then you had the secret room. So, can you tell me what are the different modalities that you have there? And then tell me about this secret room.
Yeah, so we thrive ourselves on accumulating as much tools, right? They're all essentially tools. To when we have roughly about 26 different tools at Heal House, and these tools are things that you recognize at like spas or wellness facilities, like the sauna. But like for instance, the steam. That steam component includes oh my God, thinking about it right now. Okay, it's gonna come to me.
It'll
We're
come
gonna have
back.
to
Don't worry
edit
about
that
it.
out. But with all the different technology we have, there's a science behind it. There's the sensory component of it. There's
Hmm.
the experience component of it, and we provide every individual with the benefits behind it. So we pair that with the practitioner that
Hmm.
actually will guide you through it. So whether or not it's going to be your physiotherapist and your physiotherapist can adjust, look at, assess you, see that, that you may have like, spinal decompression. We can use
Hmm.
the shock wave. We can use, like TENS technology. These technologies have been around for a long time. It's just that it's integrated in different type of modalities now.
Hmm.
To speak about the
Hmm.
Secret Garden is really this like this beautiful sanctuary
Yeah.
that I envisioned when creating Heal House, because the core of everything is what connection, right?
Yeah.
You can use all the science, you can use all these different modalities, but if
Hmm.
you feel a sense of belonging, if
Hmm.
you feel like you're in a place where you're safe, that's
Hmm.
special. And
Hmm.
so I've envisioned this place where, you have this pocket door that nobody suspects, and you open up to this grand room with 17-foot ceilings, all encased in moss. And then the centerpiece of it all is this kitchen that's built on like this TEDx stage platform.
Hmm.
Can actually educate people about longevity. We can
Yeah.
educate people about stress and burnout, and we can bring in different speakers and people that have shared, like experience of their journey. And it's a place where everyone can get together and connect.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's truly
It's
special, and it's and when creating a like Like people call it a clinic, a club, like that was the missing component of it when I was designing Heal House.
Yeah, you've really fostered a community, and it really is longevity, because for me, I know that if I'm going to go to the Heal House, this is a lifetime partner, because every day I'm aging, every day there's something new that's popping up, and I know I'm in the best hands. And then also, to continue the momentum, you do different types of events that will keep me integrated, which I think is a really important element. So talk to me, because there's some really interesting events that you do that I'm a big fan of, which is breath work, cacao ceremonies, things that really connect you to nature and obviously your intuition, your deepest self. So tell me about that side of things, because we didn't touch on that.
Yes. So when designing the space, we wanted to be able to incorporate all these different type of ceremonies and ceremonies that connect people and bring people together. So we've really elevated the experience by, like, for instance, cacao ceremony. We do a cacao ceremony around a smokeless fire pit, right?
Oh, beautiful.
So you actually get that fire element that
Mm,
ignites everybody, that helps draws people out emotions. They can share. When they share, people connect, especially when you share and you have a group of people all there that are like mind and like
mm,
hearts that are there to support you. Then we also have traditional tea ceremonies, high tea times, right? Where
mm,
we bring in some of the most amazing teas, right? That you sit around a table and you're able to share something that you share in common with, and knowing that
mm-hmm,
you have a group of people there that are knowing that's going to be able to support you and guide you through that journey, right? And not
mm-hmm.
just through a clinical standpoint, but
Yeah.
through a supportive friendship standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I feel as though it's all sort of levels, and we just keep getting deeper and deeper into ourselves, and we become very, very acquainted with who we are and how we operate. And that's very different than anything that I've experienced before, where I went to a naturopathic doctor, I was told something, and then off I went, and it was up to me to move ahead. Whereas you have everything in one heal house. That secret room is the secret garden is so special, because that's where you flourish as an individual. And I just got goosebumps talking about it, because I feel like it's really special, and I'm so grateful to be able to bring this knowledge to the world and really help flourish the heal house concept, because there is nothing like it.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. I really appreciate that. It's, like I put my heart and soul into this, reimagining how healthcare should really be.
Hmm.
Because healthcare isn't just the blood work and then the pharmaceutical drugs. True healthcare is mindset, it's
Yeah.
connection, it's eating right, it's exercising, mobility, right?
Hmm.
Looking at your chronobiology, because understanding yourself and your genetics and your epigenetics,
Hmm.
like these kind of like fundamental factors we
Hmm.
forget, right? Because we're so focused on, okay, what kind of pill can I take now to stop the pain, right?
Hmm.
Let's go beyond the pill and
Hmm.
let's look at, like your overall circumstance
Hmm.
and then address every different aspect of your life.
Well, I think of water, and how water has an energetic field. It's got a frequency, has energy. A lot of individuals walk around feeling off. I know, just in my network, they talk about this. Something just feels off. Well, you are off energetically. And so, in order to realign, and I know to some, they say, oh, this is so woo woo. Well, no, you have an energy. And the reason why you're feeling off is because you need to realign, get back on the train, and self heal to get you at a vibration that is unimaginable. And you can only do that at a place like the Heal House.
Yeah, like thank you for bringing that up because it actually leads me into some of the science around water, right? So if you do you know who Dr. Masaru Emoto is? So
No.
Dr. Masaru Emoto, he's a scientist out of Japan, and he was able to study the water crystals of water, right? And
Mm,
so what he did as a test is he had three cups. One of the cups, I believe he put rice inside of it, so rice and water. One of them, he would go and say beautiful things to it every single day. I love you. You're beautiful.
mm,
You're amazing. Positive, inspirational words. And then the other one, he would just say hateful things to it, right? I hate you. You're ugly. And then the third one, he would completely ignore. And so
Mm,
after when he looked at the water crystals, the one that he said positive things to, it was beautiful, like snowflakes, and it was
mm,
just so beautiful water crystals. And then the second piece of it, the one that he said all these hateful words to, it started turning black and fragmented and broken.
oh,
And the
mm,
one that he actually ignored, it was like dead, completely dead.
oh,
So that
oh,
goes to show you that, I mean, we're mostly made up of water. And so
mm-hmm,
like if we're being spoken to, right, with harsh words and we're harsh on ourselves, imagine
mm-hmm,
we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And those
mm,
thoughts are, a lot of them, a lot of people are suffering through negative thoughts. Like look after
mm-hmm,
4 times
mm-hmm,
mental health issues.
mm-hmm,
If we're able to address and letting people know that not all your thoughts are yours and being
mm-hmm,
able to start changing by your mindset and then
mm-hmm.
looking at all the different aspects of your life, because once you value yourself, then you will value everything else that you do and then you will truly thrive. And that actually returns to our slogan, return to yourself. Our slogan
Wow.
created to, the slogan of return to yourself was created to remove all those layers of trauma,
Mm,
everything that you've gone through, right? To be the perfect you, because you were
mhm.
created perfectly.
This is just the perfect way to end this video podcast interview. I can't, I think we just need to end right now. Stop recording. Thank you so much for your time. This was incredible. I feel like this is just one intro video interview because there's going to be more, especially as I go through my own journey and share it with everybody. So thank you so much for making the time
Thank
today. I
you.
know how
Thank you,
busy
Tanya.
you are,
Thank you.
but I really look forward to seeing where we're going to take this. So thank you again.
Perfect. Thank you, Tanya. Have a blessed
Okay.
day.